So for those of you who've been watching the kitchen renovation on the channel, you'll know quite a bit about the quality of the materials that have been used and the units and the worktops. But one thing we haven't really covered is how we got it in the first place. So I'd say around 90% of the kitchen is actually second-hand. We searched for a good few weeks to see what kitchens were coming online, where we could save some money, and what sort of thing people were selling off. So it's kind of a sign of a wasteful society when you see the amount of kitchens that people are selling off on eBay. If you're a person in need of a kitchen, that's not a bad thing, but it does show you that people are willing to just throw away a whole kitchen after 4 or 5 years, or move into a house and want to put their stamp on it, and are just prepared to sell the whole kitchen, including the appliances, sinks, worktops, and are not too worried about the price, providing you pick it up and it's gone. So that's how we came about this kitchen. The original kitchen would have cost tens of thousands of pounds. There was about twice as many units as we have used here. We've still got some left, and another buyer had some of them as well. All of the units are solid pippy oak, and it's not a very easy timber to come across. Hence why these would have been a lot more expensive than a standard sort of rustic oak door in the first place. A lot of the carcasses are made from real oak, veneered MDF or solid oak, and it just really kind of one step above what you'll be able to get off the shelf at a DIY shop. So I dug out the footage from a few months ago when we headed down to Devon to pick up the kitchen, and just show kind of what was involved. We hired a big van to get it all in. We headed down in the evening. It was a bit of a late night, and we unloaded the next day. So everything's on board. We're about halfway back now. It's about quarter to midnight, so we're going to head home, park up for the night, and unload everything in the morning. But so far so good. Alright, so it's day 2, we're back. Time to unload. We've also got these beautiful granite worktops which came from the same kitchen. Granite is one of those things that people aren't really prepared to buy second hand, simply because they know that majority of the cases they're going to have to spend quite a bit of money getting it cut, repolished and fitted, because it's not as easy to do as a DIY job. We spent just over £250, and that was it on all of the granite worktops, and we've also got some offcuts outside. And that seems like quite a cheap price, but we did have to spend about £900 to get it cut and fit. But again, when you balance that against what it would cost to go and get that new, we were looking at kind of £3,000, £4,000, even £5,000 depending on the granite that we chose. So, I mean, it's such a huge saving, and we've got a worktop that we would never have dreamt of affording should we have gone and bought it new. And another thing is granite's one of those things that just lives on, and it's so durable that a second-hand piece of granite looks identical to something that's brand new. The guys who fitted it for us re-finished the tops and buffed them up, and they look absolutely great. We had a bit of an added challenge when we were buying this kitchen on eBay. It was listed as an auction, but not only was it an auction, it was listed as about 6 or 7 different lots. The units and doors were one. The granite worktops were split into 3 or 4 different lots. The sink was another lot, and also the taps. And of course for us, we didn't want to just win 2 of the worktops and not have enough to finish the kitchen. And we also didn't want to win the worktop, which had already been cut out for the sink, and then not win the sink. So there was a little bit of strategy involved in bidding on them. We had to have 3 or 4 different tablets and iPhones sat on the worktop, and because they were all ending within a minute or 2 of each other, it was a stressful few minutes. and Joe and I took it in alternate turns to bid on one item before looping around to bid on the next. There's a bit of fun footage here from the moment we did that, and certainly had my heart racing. Anyway, it was all good fun. Okay, 4 seconds left on that one. Oh, under 100. Take this one. 2. Anyone bid on it yet? Okay, good fun. Yes! So this sink was really, I mean, a complete steal for us. The total cost, I think, we won it for £70 or £80, and for the size of it, it's an 800mm wide Belfast sink, which is already, I think, cheaper than any of the cheap IKEA versions. It turned out that this sink is made by Shaw's, and Shaw's are one of the world leaders in these artisan sort of Belfast butler sinks, and has a kind of traditional fluted ribbed front here. And we found this online, and it retails at about £700 or £800. So again, that was just a real sign of the original quality of the kitchen, but also just an amazing saving from going and buying it second hand. And it continued with the taps. The set taps were £60. The granite was pre-drilled for this tap set, and it had been matched with the sink. So again, we really wanted to make sure we won those taps. And this set of taps is by a company called Perrin and Rowe, and that means absolutely nothing to us, or certainly didn't originally, but it's a very well-known tap makers in London, and this set normally retails at £400, and again we got it for 60. So it's just a really nice way of adding those real bits of class to a kitchen without spending a fortune. And the quality of this chrome, it looks like it's just come out of the packaging. So one more thing to consider when you're buying a second-hand kitchen is, how is it going to work in your space? You haven't got the facility to go into a store, design something to fit your space exactly. So you have to kind of treat them as jigsaw puzzle pieces, and be a little bit flexible about it. Now that might be quite restrictive on some people's designs and what they want. However, most things are fairly standard. Most carcasses and units are standard depths. We had a bit of fiddling around to do because it was obviously quite a bespoke kitchen to start with. So when we bought all the units second-hand, not only was it the units and the doors, it was all the handles, the slow close drawers, the big pan drawers, the chopping boards, and even this corner unit, which still retails at about £200 or £300 just for the mechanism itself. So that's giving you a chance to see our kitchen and some of the features that we've managed to pick up by buying a second-hand kitchen. So I'm going to put a little list after this which will show you what we spent, a complete breakdown of what we spent on the kitchen and the savings we've made. So hopefully that will encourage you to have a look and see what you can save, and perhaps you'll be able to find a great deal like we did. So thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe and keep up to date for more future videos on work in the house and other restoration projects.